Welcome. I'm here today to talk about how teachers should change the way that they teach for students that have dyslexia. Students that have dyslexia are known to learn differently than the normal student. The way that the teacher is teaching right now excludes students with dyslexia. But as soon as you add in the dyslexic factor in learning, everybody will be able to learn, and this will not exclude anyone. 1 in 5 students have dyslexia. Therefore, we should change our way of learning because that's a whole bunch of students that have it in your class. Even though you may not be able to tell, they still need to change their way of learning because they're figuring it out on their own, which is hard for a student to do. Most kids think that dyslexics can't read because they mess up the words, which is true, but not for all students. They put a big stereotype that's not meant for everybody. I found 2 parents that have children that have dyslexia, and so I chose to interview them. Here's the questions now. Did you ever ask teachers if she had dyslexia? And if so, what did they say?
I did have to talk to her teachers. We noticed slowly that there was a problem because she wasn't keeping up with her classmates. So I did have to go to her teachers about getting her tested, and her teachers were really supportive and the administration was really supportive, but we did have trouble getting the Westerville City School employees to agree to test her. Finally they did.
What hinted you that I had dyslexia?
When you first started school, Daddy always had his doubts because he's dyslexic, and we asked teachers in kindergarten when you started writing letters if it was possible because your letters would go backwards and some things you were doing were a little backwards, but they always told us that that was normal for kids until they get to about 2nd grade. So we kept trying to just let it go, but you were our first child and we didn't know any better, so we trusted the teachers to know what was going on.
What did you do when the teachers finally said that I might have dyslexia?
Well, each year we continued to ask at parent-teacher conferences if there was something, if there was a possibility that you were dyslexic. We would still have problems with your writing, with sentences, with some of your reading scores. Your spelling tests were really the grades were poor on them. So once we finally were able to take you in and have someone test you, it was a big relief.
What did you do after you found out that she had dyslexia?
We got her put on an IEP, and she's actually on what they call a scholarship at St. Paul, called a John Peterson Scholarship, and it just helps to pay. The money goes to St. Paul, and it goes to help get her services. So she actually meets one-on-one with a specialist every day for 45 minutes, which is great, and in helping her get where she needs to be.
What do you wish the teachers did through all of this?
I wish that teachers were educated on dyslexia more, and through the whole process we found out that the way teachers are taught is not to know and understand dyslexia the way we assumed a teacher would know. So I wish that there could be more education for teachers because 1 in 5 children suffer from dyslexia, and every child can learn the way a dyslexic kid needs to be taught. Just the dyslexic children have a hard time learning the way regular children are taught.
What do you wish the teachers did differently?
For the most part, our teachers have been great, actually. The only thing that we have had trouble with is she doesn't like the fact that she has to leave class and go get extra services, but it's kind of a necessary evil. But at times, if there was something fun going on in the classroom, I wish that they could work around it and either just let her skip a session altogether or arrange for her to go a different day.
How did you feel through all of this?
It was a struggle. We had many nights where we had fights over homework. There were many tears shed. It was frustrating because you're a very smart kid, and it was very hard to see you struggle and to not enjoy school as much as we knew you did. So it was a huge relief once we finally got onto the road of helping you, and we all were able to breathe a little easier and the homework battles went away. And we still have our battles, but I think that's because you're a teenager.
What is your biggest struggle with dyslexia?
Having the kids knowing about it and trying to cover it up.
When did you get diagnosed with dyslexia?
I think 2 years ago.
Do you still get help today?
Yeah.
What do you wish the teachers did differently today to help you?
I wish they would not announce it to the class when I have to go somewhere to get help with it.
Students with dyslexia are being bullied because you're able to tell that they have it. And most students think that they're stupid, but they're actually very smart. It's not fair to them. So let's change our way of teaching so that way all students are taught equally and there's less bullying in the world.